morning to everyone. So today we're going to talk about our digestive system, which is, in my opinion, the most fascinating system in the human body. So I hope everything is going well for you and that everyone is alive and ready to listen for today's session. But before we formally start our discussion, I have one question. Have you ever wondered where the food you eat goes once it enters your body? Well, worry not, because for today's video, we're aiming to define digestive system, the processes and stages of digestion, parts and functions of the digestive system, physiology of each organs. We will going to determine the most common diseases occur in our digestive system and to have a better understanding of the treatment or cure about the diseases. What is digestion? Digestion is a complex process where large insoluble foods are broken down into smaller water-soluble molecules and turning food into nutrients so that they can be absorbed by blood and give energy to different parts of our body for growth and cell repair needed to survive. The digestion process also involves creating waste to be eliminated. Did you know that humans eat on average between 1 to 2.7 kilograms of food a day? And that's 365 kg a year per person, and more than 28,800 kg over the course of a lifetime. Every last scrap makes its way through the digestive system. The digestive system is made up of 10 organs that span 9 meters and have 20 different types of specialized cells. One of the most intricate and complex systems in the human body is the digestive system. Its components continuously cooperate to complete two tasks. First is converting the food raw materials into nutrients and energy that sustains us. Second, it eliminates the waste from our body. Let's move on to the processes and stages of the digestive system. Ingestion, the first of these processes, is the process by which food enters the alimentary canal through the mouth. Saliva, which contains enzymes, that starts breaking down the food's carbohydrates as well as some fat digestion via lingual lipase, gets mixed with the food as it is chewed there. Chewing enhances the food surface area and enables the creation of a bolus that is the right size. When our food has been thoroughly eaten, it leaves your mouth when your tongue and pharyngeal muscles push it into your esophagus. The movement of food through the digestive tract is an example of propulsion, which is the last voluntary act before defecation. Both the voluntary process of swallowing and the involuntary process of peristalsis are included in it. Food is propelled along by the sequential alternating waves of contraction and relaxation of the smooth muscles of the alimentary wall. The blending of food and digestive secretions is another function of these waves. Due to the strength of peristalsis, you can swallow food and liquid that enter your stomach while standing on your head. This is the process of propulsion. Both mechanical and chemical activities take place during digestion. The process of mechanical digestion is entirely physical and has no impact on the food's chemical composition. Instead, it reduces the size of the food to enhance its mobility and surface area. Despite the common misconception that it only happens during the earliest stage of digestion, chyme, an acidic soup, is produced when the mechanical churning of food in the stomach further disintegrates it and exposes more of its surface to digestive fluids. The mechanical digestion includes chewing, churning, and segmentation. After the esophagus, the next destination would be our stomach, where those particles stay for approximately 4 hours. It will be left at the mercy of the muscular stomach walls which bound the bolus, breaking it into chunks. Hormones secreting by cells in the lining trigger the release of acids and enzymes rich juices from the stomach wall that starts to dissolve the food and break down its proteins. These hormones also alert the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder to produce digestive juices and transfer bile. A bile is a yellowish-green liquid that digests fat in preparation for the next stage. Once the food particles reach your small intestine, the liver sends bile to the gallbladder which secretes it to the first portion of the small intestine called duodenum. It dissolves the fats floating in the slurry of chyme so they can be easily digested by the pancreatic intestinal juices. This enzyme-rich juices breaks down fatty acids and glycerol for easier absorption into the body. Enzymes also carry out the final deconstruction of proteins into amino acids and carbohydrates into glucose. This happens in the lower regions of our small intestine, which is called jejunum and ileum. The particles that are not absorbed by the small intestine reach the large intestine, or also called as colon, which includes leftover fiber, water, and dead cells. The body drains out most of the remaining fluid through the intestinal walls. What's left is a soft mass called stool. The colon squeezes this byproduct into a pouch called the rectum and tell the body when it's time to expel the waste. The byproducts of digestion exit through the anus. The lengthy trip of the meal, which usually takes between 30 to 40 hours, is now concluded.
Parts and functions. Mouth. The mouth is an oval-shaped cavity inside the skull. The two main functions of the mouth are eating and speaking. Parts of the mouth include the lips, vestibule, mouth cavity, gums, teeth, hard and soft palate, tongue, and salivary glands. The mouth is also known as the oral cavity or the vocal cavity. Our mouths and teeth let us make different facial expressions, form words, eat, drink, and begin the process of digestion. The mouth is essential for speech, with the lips and tongue, teeth help forms words. The mouth is involved in several essential bodily functions. The following example is breathing, chewing, digesting foods and drinks, drinking, swallowing, talking, and tasting. Salivary glands. Your salivary glands produce saliva, spit, and empty it into your mouth through ducts or small openings. They lubricate your mouth and throat, aid in swallowing and digestion, and help shield your teeth from cavity-causing bacteria. The main salivary gland function is saliva production. Saliva plays an important role in supporting your oral and overall health, keeps your mouth and throat lubricated and comfortable, moistens food so it is easier to swallow, contains and enzymizes cold amylase which helps your stomach break down starches in food, keeps your mouth clean, helps reduce your risk of cavities and gum. Esophagus. The esophagus is the hollow muscular tube that carries food and liquids from the throat to the stomach. The esophagus runs through the middle of the chest cavity, an area known as the mediastinum, and has two sphincters that control opening and closing. The primary function of your esophagus is to carry food and liquid from your mouth. Liver. The liver is the largest solid organ in the body. It removes toxins from the body's blood supply, maintains healthy blood sugar levels, regulates blood clotting, and performs hundreds of other vital functions. It is located beneath the rib cage and the right upper abdomen. The liver controls most chemical levels in the blood. It also secretes a clear yellow or orange fluid called bile. Bile helps to break down fats, preparing them for further digestion and absorption. All of the blood leaving the stomach and intestines passes through the liver. Gallbladder. Your gallbladder is a small, pear-shaped organ in your upper right abdomen. Your gallbladder stores and releases bile to help your digestive system break down fats. The most common issue you may develop with your gallbladder is gallstone. The gallbladder is an organ that found in your abdomen. Its function is to store bile until it needed for digestion. When we eat, the gallbladder contracts or squeezes to send bile into your digestive tract. A stomach. The stomach is a G-shaped organ that digests food, produces enzymes, substances that create chemical reaction and acids, digestive juices. This mix of enzymes and digestive juices breaks down food so it can pass to your small intestine. It takes in food from the esophagus, gullet, or food pipe, makes it, breaks it down, and then passes it onto the small intestine in small portions.
Pancreas. The pancreas is an organ located in the abdomen that plays an essential role in converting the food we eat into fuel for the body cells. The pancreas has two main functions: an exocrine function that helps in digestion and an endocrine function that regulates blood sugar. The pancreas secretes digestive enzymes into the duodenum that breaks down protein, fats, and carbohydrates. The pancreas also makes insulin, passing it directly into the bloodstream. Insulin is the chief hormone in your body for metabolizing sugar. Small intestine. The small intestine is a 22-foot-long muscular tube that breaks down food using enzymes released by the pancreas and bile from the liver. Peristalsis also works in this organ, moving food through and mixing it with digestive juices from the pancreas and liver. Contents of the small intestine start out semi-solid and end in a liquid form after passing through the organ. Water, bile, enzymes, and mucus contribute to the change in consistency. Once the nutrients have been absorbed and the leftover food residue liquid has passed through the small intestine, it then moves onto the large intestine or colon. Large intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter than the small intestine and has a smooth inner wall. In the proximal or upper half of the large intestine, enzymes from the small intestine complete the digestive process, and bacteria produce B vitamins, B12, thiamine, and riboflavin, as well as vitamin K. The primary function of the large intestine is the absorption of water and electrolytes from digestive residues. It's a process that usually takes 24 to 30 hours, and storage of fecal matter until it can be expelled. A progressive and more vigorous type of movement known as the gastrocolic reflex, which occurs only 2 or 3 times daily, propels the material towards the anus. Appendix. Appendix is usually 8 to 10 cm long and less than 1.3 cm wide. The cavity of the appendix is much narrower where it joins the cecum than it is at its closed end. The appendix has muscular walls that are ordinarily capable of expelling into the cecum and mucous secretions of the appendiceal walls or any of the intestinal contents that have worked their way into the structure. Rectum. The rectum is a straight 8-inch chamber that connects the colon to the anus. The rectum's job is to receive stool from the colon, let you know that there is stool to be evacuated, and to hold the stool until evacuation happens. When anything, gas or stool, comes into the rectum, sensors send a message to the brain, then the brain decides if the rectal contents can be released or not. Anus. The anus is the last part of the digestive tract. It is a 2-inch long canal consisting of the pelvic floor muscles and the two anal sphincters, internal and external. The lining of the upper anus is able to detect rectal contents. It lets you know whether the contents are liquid, gas, or solid. The anus is surrounded by sphincter muscles that are important in allowing control of stool. The pelvic floor muscle creates an angle between the rectum and the anus that stops stool from coming out when it's not supposed to. The internal sphincter is always tight except when stool enters the rectum.
3 common diseases that occur in the digestive system. First is diarrhea. Diarrhea is a common problem. It could be the only symptom or coexist with others like nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, or weight loss. What is the main cause of diarrhea? A gastrointestinal virus is the most frequent reason for diarrhea. Other potential causes of diarrhea can include infection by bacteria, which often lasts a few days and is referred to as intestinal flu. What is the effect of diarrhea? Diarrhea can cause dehydration, which can be life-threatening if untreated. Dehydration is dangerous, especially for young people, the elderly, and individuals whose immune systems are weak. Second is ulcer. An ulcer is an open, painful sore. The duodenum, which is the upper portion of the small intestine, and the stomach are both impacted by peptic ulcers. Stomach ulcers and gastric ulcers are other terms for peptic ulcers. What is the main cause of an ulcer? Peptic ulcers are usually brought on by Helicobacter pylori infection and chronic usage of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medications like ibuprofen and naproxen sodium. What is the effect of an ulcer? An abdominal discomfort that feels like it is burning or is gnawing is the stomach ulcer's most common symptom. However, not everyone who has a stomach ulcer feels pain. Some may also have other symptoms including indigestion, heartburn, acid reflux, and feeling sick. The third is constipation. Constipation is a condition in which a person has uncomfortable or irregular bowel movements. Generally, a person is considered to be constipated when bowel movements result in passage of small amounts of hard dry waste or stool, usually fewer than 3 times a week. What is the cause of constipation? The most common causes of constipation are when waste goes through the digestive tract too slowly or cannot be properly eliminated from the rectum, which can result in the waste being hard and dry. What is the effect of constipation? Constipated people may experience tightness in their abdomen or a severe gut-wrenching pain. Additionally, even if they haven't eaten in several hours, they could constantly feel as if they just finished a substantial meal.
What are the cure of these diseases? How do you cure diarrhea? The breadth of diet has been shown to effectively treat diarrhea. Brands stand for toast, rice, bananas, and applesauce that blend flavor of these disease foods, plus packed that they are starchy, low-fiber foods make this diet beneficial. In the digestive tract, disease foods have a binding action that makes truths more bulky. How do you cure ulcers? If you give ulcers a rest from the things that cause them, they can heal. Healthcare professionals use a variety of medication to example ulcer in order to lower stomach acid cover and protect the ulcer during healing and killing any bacteria infection that may be involved. How do you cure constipation? Include a lot of high fiber foods in your diets, such as whole grain, grapes, beans, vegetables, and fruits. Eat less low fiber foods like processed foods, dairy, and any animal products. Drink a lot of water. Be as active as you can. Try your best to exercise often.